right. Good evening, good evening, good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you all are well. Very busy down here, so it's all kinds of fun. Um, all right. So before we jump into everything on the video and talking about the topic, we are going to just go over the basic rules, like I always like to try to do, just to keep it so people understand. This is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very easy, simple rules, then you will be booted out of here as JJ has the boot uh, ready to go. We're just not going to tolerate it. We just want everybody to have a good time and enjoy the stream. Being able to have decent conversations in the chat. So, hey, Billy the Kid Norwood, how you doing tonight? Nice to see you here. And thank you for becoming the of the Preppreneurs One family. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate the support. So, did you give Hella a treat today for defending her territory? Actually, she's gotten spoiled a lot today. Only what happens, but all right. So, but yes, I just like I said, it's been very busy here. Moved a lot of rock, a lot of rock. Cut a little bit of grass today. Tomorrow's going to be more grass cutting and less rock moving tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any rock moving tomorrow or not. I haven't. I'll tell you, when I started today, I was like, when I started that first wheelbarrow full of stone today, I was like, oh my god. I was like, I don't want to do this, but I just want to get things squared away and get things done, and and go from there. So, but yeah, so that was it. So we're going to be talking about. There's been a lot of chatter, obviously, with everything going on with people talking about the new treaty that they're doing with the World Health Organization, putting them in charge, and uh, allowing them to make the decisions on supposedly what happens with any kind of a pandemic and those type of things. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. I know a lot of people are all into the whole oh my God, one world order, all that type of stuff. I just you cannot be controlled unless you allow yourself to be controlled. So you know, yeah, hell is a big help mowing. Yeah, she's trying to bite the tires of the lawnmower. That's what she likes to try to do. She gets bored pretty quickly though, and then goes off and does something else. But anyway, let's first of all let's do a little background about the World Health Organization. Okay, uh, you have you have a an organization that is highly corrupt to start with. I mean, that's not any kind of surprise at all. They are in China's back pocket. When the whole virus came out, and then they're like, well, we don't know, and all this other. There was a lot of misinformation. Just put it like that. They didn't really, they weren't organized with what they were doing, and all those type of things. But they were definitely China's puppet. I mean, I think that's probably the nicest way to put it. And so they're talking about this. Yeah, what isn't corrupt these days? Good point, Jay. Good point. Um, but when you have why first of all, why are countries saying, okay, you make all the decisions, World Health Order? Does that make any kind of sense whatsoever? And I want you guys to think about something. Okay, so here we are in the United States of America, and let's say the World Health Organization comes out and says everybody in the world needs to do this, right? Everybody has to do that. Now, my question would be, how are they going to enforce that? Do they have enough people to check on every single person to see who's complying and is not complying? And if you're not complying to what you're being told to do by the World Health Organization. What are the consequences of that? Is there going to have a whole bunch of people all locked up in jail someplace because they won't throw this diaper on their face? You know, um, that is that's something that people need to think about too. And that goes back to what I said here in the beginning. You cannot be controlled unless you are allowed to be controlled. If you think about, like, okay, we'll talk a little bit about China. Okay, let's talk about China a little bit. There is a massive police force in China, and they do that because they completely control and dominate their people. You know, right? Sonia Klein says they can't arrest us all. You're absolutely right, but they may do it through surveillance technology. You can't. In cities, maybe in cities, you're not. There's just not enough. Um, there's just not enough cameras everywhere to be able to do that. There just really isn't. Okay, but the point that I'm making is, let's say all these countries, the United States is part of it, and they say, okay, we're giving the authority to the World Health Organization. I don't answer to them. I don't answer to this government that's in charge here, um, you know, or the last one that was in charge. I don't answer to them. I'm a free human being. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have somebody dictate to me what I can and cannot do. And I know a lot of people, yeah, Trudeau tried. Exactly. Um, I know a lot of people are going to say, and I'll be one of them. What is one of the agendas? And this is of course strictly my opinion. I think one of the agendas is to force everyone to do this. That's what I believe um, is one of the agendas. Now, there was a survey done recently, and they were saying that 66% of all Americans had this. Okay, they also said that there was a percentage of the people that hadn't done it that said they'll never do it. And I think I'll be honest with you, I don't even believe that the number 66% is accurate. I don't believe so, because now maybe 50%, maybe. So, yeah, foreign soldiers on American soil are automatically targets. Well, and that's the point, guys. You know, why the push so hard to disarm us, right? Because let's think about it realistically. If they disarm all of us, are the police officers going to give up all their weapons? Are the military going to give up all their weapons? Of course not, right? And then the only people that have the weapons would be the dictatorship, those that are in charge, those that are making the rules, and they can dictate to you what you can and cannot do. The reality is, as long as we are able to defend ourselves and to basically make our own free choices, uh, you know, there's nothing that they can do. I mean, they can say, well, you need to do this or you need to do this, you know, but that doesn't make it so. I don't answer to the World Health Organization. I don't answer to the CDC here in the United States. I don't answer to them. You know, I don't have a whole great bunch of trust for big pharma for many many reasons, as you know. Um, I have never done this, and I'm not going to. I have no intention of doing it. I got sick last fall, just right around Thanksgiving. I was down in, you know, did you hear that Gates is suffering from mild symptoms? No, I hadn't heard that one. But, I had, I was down for 2 weeks. I got better and I'm fine. So, I just, I got the flu, right? But, and I never went and checked it out and, oh my God, test me, test me, test me. I'm not playing that game, you know, because as soon as you do that, then you're under, like my mother. Okay, my mother went and she got tested. She had it, right? So then they were trying to do, the contact tracing the whole thing with, well, who have you been around and blah 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 blah. Well, obviously she didn't say, well, my son and my granddaughter are in the house next door, because mom probably got it from me. So you know what I mean. It's just that's the reality. But they were calling up and just and it's not happening. It's just not happening. Here's the reality of the fact, guys. Okay, if I get sick, I'm going to stay home. I'm going to get better. I'm not going to try to give it to everybody else. I'm not going to go out and be a selfish jerk, and be out in public sick and coughing and hacking and spreading whatever I would have to everybody else. If more people did that, if more people didn't send their children to school sick, we would be in a better place. But they don't, and they do. So that's just the reality of it. I just when I don't feel well, I'm low key. So like today, I mean, I got up this morning. I worked around here all day. I went up to my mailbox and checked my mail, and then I drove back down here. That's it. That's what I did today. But federal agents are militarizing themselves to get non-compliers through their new disinformation group. Let's talk about that a second too. I do want to talk about that as well. Okay, we're going to get into that in a second. But what I'm saying is to you guys, if all the governments in the world give the full total control as far as our medical stuff to the World Health Organization, and the World Health Organization comes out with some mandate that they feel that they can enact on everybody, there is no absolute way they can enforce that on the entire world. They just can't. Hey, Mountain Kayaker, there's a treaty between the World Health Organization and the WEF. Long-term plan in the U.S. and other 193 countries is to be part of the One World Order. They want that, but again, and thank you very much for that statement. I do appreciate that, and thank you for the donation as well. I do appreciate that as well. But what you have to understand with that, you are, again, unless you and me and everybody else says, okay, I'm going to go along with that. That's just words. Uh, if we step up and we fight back, what are they going to do then? There's a whole lot of us out here, folks, a whole lot of us out here. And if we organize and we work together and we network and we do all those type of things, they can't, realistically, they can't kill us all. They can't. Okay. So either you're going to lay down. It's just like, okay, I'll give you a great example. Let's talk about laying down. Let's talk about Angry Prepper for a second. All right, Jason. So it started out with a whole bunch of them were saying, nope, nope, I'm not going to get this, right? It's part of the whole mandate thing. And it came down to the end, and most of them backed down, went out and got that. He was one of the ones that didn't. So, I mean, he stood by what he said, and I respect that. I'm going to tell you what, you want to man up, and walk the walk and talk the talk, you got all my respect in the world. When you are, playing games and say, well, I'll never do that. And then, next thing you know, you're standing in line. Okay. Um, he was one of a very few that actually stood up and said, not doing it. All right. So he took early retirement to his own detriment, realistically, because if he had worked another 5 years, he would have been better off financially. But, he had to weigh the cost against the price of doing something, and he chose not to. And he decided to make a decision for his own health. And again, my hat's off to Angry Prepper. He's got my complete respect because of that. And I think that that's important. You should, But let's go ahead and talk about. Let me go back to that question just so I can look at that again. Where was that? I'm just trying to find that. I wanted to address that. What? Again, if you could remind me what he asked, and I said I wanted to address that because now it's gone. So, what was he asking me about addressing? If you guys would remind me, I would appreciate that. And I said I wanted to address his comment. Faith Grace says left, right, same evil, keep people divided and all working against each other, against the people. Absolutely. Do you know what we're allowed to do if we catch somebody stealing gas from a car? Breaking their legs wouldn't be a bad thing. That's just, that's my take. If I catch you doing something with my car, you're in big trouble. I'll just put it like that. Uh, what was he saying? There was. Let me look back here real quick, guys, and see if I can find this comment. Because I definitely wanted to address it. Uh, hold on one second, folks. I'm trying to find that comment. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. I got it. The disinformation thing they're putting together. Let's talk about that for a second, okay? So real quick, what do we got? 27 in the chat. We're 170 thumbs up. Guys, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And I thank you ahead of time for that. I do appreciate that. It really does make a difference with the algorithms, and it makes a big difference that way as well. Also, if let's see, hold on one second, guys. Had to answer a text. Sorry. It never stops. I can tell you that it never stops. Um, but anyway, so you have this new they're putting together the disinformation, right? So let's talk about that. Who who decides realistically what is the truth and what is not the truth? Who are we going to put in charge of that? And tell me that's not going to be politically slanted, either left or right, depending on who's in the office, right? Whoever's the big cheese, they can dictate to who's the ones, running that office. And if I'm not mistaken, a lot of things that they said realistically before were disinformation. 6 months down the road, what happened? Oh my God, yeah, it just happened to be the truth that people were saying, but they were vilified. They were given strikes on YouTube. They were, kicked off of Twitter or whatever the case may be, Facebook, blocked on Facebook, and all those type of things. But actually, the information that they had given was correct. So, where's the objectivity? Where is that open mindedness to agree to disagree? If you have an office that's going to be, that it's going to target people that they don't want to be speaking. You know, they may say, yeah, it's the Nazis taking control. Absolutely, Pamela. I hear you. I agree with you 100%. It's always, folks. There's two things. Two things at the end of the day. Okay, it, it's really really simple. If you watch anything that's being done, there's two things at the end of the day. It is control. That's number one. They want to control every aspect of what you're doing, right? That's the number one thing. The second thing is about money. Always follow the money because somebody is making money, and that's a fact. All right. Yeah, there is no left or right anymore. It's all wrong. Exactly. Brenda Queen, you're right. And I agree with you 100%. Agree with you 100%. They are not, it just, it floors me. It floors me, honestly, that yeah, the only truth is mine, right? There's only one truth, mine. I like that. That's funny. But again, when you look at these political parties, what you have to understand, you have this group over here and you have this group over here, and even that now, I have seen families. Okay, so I'll give you an example. I'll give you a real good example. I had a friend of mine, and she is actually the mother of one of my nephews. Okay. Um, well, second cousin, I guess, because it's my cousin's ex-girlfriend and they had a child together. But we were friends on Facebook. And when Hillary lost, I'm busting balls. I mean, I am busting balls in there. Okay. Because they thought it was a shoe-in. She was no issues. Everything was going to be great, and she was going to be the president. Well, when he won that election, I had busted chops on Facebook with her. She removed me as a friend and she blocked me. Now, that is the action to me of a 5-year-old. Because if Hillary had won and people were busting my balls and, busting my chops and everything, I'd have been like, hey, you know what? Your person won. Congratulations. Good for you. But the division is so strong now with left and right that there is this hatred of the other side, even if there are common ground that people agree with. Okay, there's common ground. There's always going to be common ground. I'm more of a libertarian, realistically. I guess that would be the right terminology. If you had to put a label on me, I would be a libertarian. I have some left leaning views, I have some right leaning views. But I think for myself, I don't affiliate myself with the Democrats or the Republicans because at the end of the day, my friends, at the end of the day, what happens is they're going to screw you. It doesn't matter who. Uh, Espen didn't kill himself. I like that, Savage. That's funny. Um, People aren't even talking about that anymore either. Isn't that interesting, right? Just the cameras didn't work. Oops, what happened? Oh, yeah, okay. It's amazing how that would work in a high tech facility that, all of a sudden the cameras didn't work. But anyway, you know, both of these parties, they have an agenda, and it's not to help you and me. It's to take care of their rich friends. It's to take care of the people that got them elected, the special interest groups, which would be, let's see, places like Big Pharma, the power companies, the insurance companies, the oil companies. That's who runs this country, my friends. If you think it's different than that, go try to do something against whatever regulation that they've enacted in your town that benefits the power company, that benefits the oil companies. Go against any of that and see how well you do. Okay, they're putting in legislation constantly that I just saw an article and they were talking about solar and they're like, why are more people not doing solar in the United States? And I can't remember what state it was in. God, I wish I could remember what state it was. I think it was maybe Alabama. And if I could be wrong, so if I'm wrong, I apologize. But anyway, in that state, a lot of sunshine, right? Which is great, would be perfect for solar. The power company has to buy back the power, but they have it in writing that and again, and I've said this before, when you're hooked up to the grid, this is what happens. And I'm going to make a number up so you can understand it real simplistically. If the power company is buying they're forced to buy their power from you. So they're going to give you say 50 cents and then they turn around and sell it back to you at a dollar therm. So at the end of the day, maybe you have a reduced bill or it's not as much, or maybe you get a little bit of a stipend back for them, and they like, I know that in New York, they give out once a year. That's what they do. They do it once a year. Okay. But you're not winning in that situation. The power company is winning. Why do you think that these power companies have all this legislation in place to protect them? It's to protect them. It ain't to protect you. Why is it okay for them to buy it at a much cheaper rate from you and then they sell it back to you for more? That's your power. That's a power you created. So again, when you have these politicians that are in the pockets of these people, it doesn't matter left or right. It doesn't matter. It's who owns them. Hey, Mountain Kayaker, we only have one California State Assembly person that acts like a public servant, and that's it, Kevin Kelly. Well, it's unfortunate, but that's the norm as opposed to the rule. That's the exception. I'm sorry, that's the exception rather than the rule, and it's unfortunate that it's like that. But sorry, I'm late. I was helping out with a car accident down the road. I hope everything was okay, 80K man. Hope nobody got hurt too badly. But it is Lake Mead is a representation of what happens to our economy. It's a great example. You know, uh, there is enough water on this planet. We should never have an issue with water. We really shouldn't. Uh, why aren't they again? And I know people are going to say, "Oh, because it's too expensive." Well, crops, and you're trying to take care of people. Why not have I know we've had the Great Lakes were way high at certain points. Why isn't that piped out to a place like that? You know what I mean? Why not? It doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any kind of sense. Did you see all the dead bodies that were popping up in Lake Mead? I did. Yeah, a lot of them. A lot of them. But again, these most politicians are bought and paid for. Okay, that's the reality. That is an absolute reality of the situation. Um, Mandates and all these other things that have happened already before. And I'm sure coming back again won't surprise me if it comes back again. I almost anticipate that it'll come back again because why? So I'm going to ask this is a question. Why do you think why do you think that they'll come back again with more mandates, especially like fall into winter? Why do you think that'll be? And it's a one word answer. One word answer. That's what I'm looking for. So in the comments, give me your one word answer and I will tell you what the reason is for. All right, a lot of you are getting the right answer. I'm going to give the first right answer. Janet Nice said control. Always comes down to control. Some of you put election, which is not far off either, because if they can, dictate that whole thing again, and I don't know if some of you saw that 2,000 Mules. That was an interesting video, I thought. But it's all about control at the end of the day. They like having that power and control over us. So do you think that they're easily going to say, "Hey, listen, you know what? Go ahead and we're going to let this go and live your life"? No, they want that power. They want that control over you. What? And being 100% honest, in the height of this whole thing, I would go to Walmart, and this is not bragging, okay? I'm not trying to brag saying this, but I'm just telling you like it is. I would be literally the only one. I remember another time I saw another lady as well, but I was the only one that did not have a mask on. Only one. Everybody else just complied, did what they were told, didn't cause any waves. You know, I'm like, I ain't doing it. I am not doing it because I know how useless they were. And then what did they come out with later, right? What did they come out with later? Well, this and this and this were not as effective. I like that terminology. It's very vague. It's very not as effective, but then they would come up with something is better than nothing. You know, you can BS some of the people all the time, and you can BS some of the people some of the time, but there's certain people that you're never going to be able to BS. And and again, if you wore your mask and did what you were told, um, that's your business. I'm not going to judge you for that. I'm not going to, but again, if enough of us, and I'll say this again so you understand, if enough of us sit down and say, no, not doing it, that's it. It ends just like that. It ends just like that. Very simple. But people are just, I talk to a lot of people, and because that's what I do. I talk to people, right? Talk to people all the time. If I'm out and about talking to people, and I had a guy tell me, because I had a lady, I think I told you this when I was going into Tractor Supply, and I was getting something, and I was coming out, and it was a lady coming in, and and I had a conversation with a guy inside about the mask, and he said, "Well, I just do it because I just don't want to deal with stupid people." And so when I was coming out, a lady was coming in, I go, "Oh, hun, go right ahead," because that's what I do. I mean, I'm always going to try to be polite. She's like, "No, no, you don't have a mask on," and I'm like, "Oh my god!" But that's what he didn't want to deal with. Well, guess what? I don't care. So guess what I did? I walked out of the place. Oh, have a nice day. That's it. Whatever. You want to play games and believe everything of every shred of information that you are fed on CNN or MSNBC, even Fox. If you want to believe everything, go right ahead. But me, I'm going to question everything. I am not going to just comply because you told me I have to comply. I'm not doing it. You know, and realistically, if you look at what the true death rate of this was, and who was strictly for the most part affected, if you look at that, you'll realize that as long as you were a healthy person, the chances of you getting really, really sick were not high, not very high. So, you know, again, you want to be a sheep and do what you're told and don't make waves and don't cause any problems, and you go ahead and do that. I'm gonna make waves. I'm gonna cause problems because it's like I'm not. That's just not who I am. I have always I've always been the guy that bucked the system. Always. I questioned everything um, since I was a kid. Since I was a kid. I never just because you're in the position of authority, right? You're in the position of authority, and you tell me you need to do this. Well, why? That's my answer. Always was. Why? Why does it have to be like that? And it could be whatever. It could be about religion. It could be whatever. And when they can't give you these people, whoever they may be, when they can't give you legitimate fact-based reasons why, and when you can come back with fact-based reasons why you're not going to, they can't handle that. They cannot handle that. Jen said, Ed, how about a house plans now bigger and better? What I'm going to do now, Jen, what I've actually decided, I'm going to build myself. And so, what construction building houses does Prepper Nurse One have? None. Okay, but yeah, Ed was the type who didn't play well with others. You are absolutely right, Jay. That's exactly right. Um, so I don't really have a lot of experience building a house, but anything that you want to learn is there on YouTube. Realistically, I also have a couple of carpenters in my group, and obviously I'm going to be leaning on them heavily for advice on how to do things as well. But yeah, you can find out how to on YouTube exactly. So what's going to happen? But if you build yourself, do you have to follow code? Well, if there's codes, you should follow codes. Yeah, if there's codes, you should follow codes. But where I am at, there's not. So I'm still going to do it right. I will still have an electrician come in. I will probably build better than what they would normally build. So it's going to be more support. It's going to be it's going to be very well, much more solid than what the standard is that EV3 at their national codes. I don't think so, EV3 Dale. I don't think that there is. But anyway, I could be wrong. I'm not saying you're not wrong, but okay, I'll tell you this: there's not inspectors coming out. How about that? So right. Oh no, I prepared family just said at least build by standard building codes. Exactly. I'm not going to be doing some crazy stuff. I will tell you that right now. Okay. I'm not going to do any kind of crazy stuff. I'm going to build it solid. I'm going to build it the right way. I'm going to make sure that it's safe. When I have the electrician come in, they're going to be I'm going to make sure that the electrical's all done the right way so that we don't have any kind of fires or anything like that. So, that's the way I'm going to do that. So, I'm definitely going to do it the right way. I'm not going to do a hobnob job type of thing. That's not what I'm looking to do. I want to build it right. So I will look at what, how to build these things, and I'm going to do it the right way. So just so you guys know. Ever see the Tough House at Home Depot, 2-story shell, 1600, delivered and installed? Oh, well, that would be nice, but I don't have 16 grand sitting around. That I don't have. So that's part of the problem. If I had, if my place in New York sold, then I could get a couple of those, and that would be no problem. So, but if they bring it broken down and bring it in and build it, that would be cool. But you know, yeah, be like the little pig that used bricks and not straw and sticks. Exactly. I definitely, I will. Like I said, guys, I'm going to build it right. It's going to be very, very solid. But what I plan on doing is a 24 by 40. So, but that's the game plan. So, they do payment at Home Depot, and that's how I bought. Oh, really? Well, I don't even know. I'll have to look and see. I know they got Lowe's down here. I don't know if they got Home Depot close. Down here. I haven't seen a Home Depot down here. So, but yeah, no, guys, trust me. I'm not going to do. I'm not going to into this half cocked. I want to do it the right way. So, that's the game plan. But no, I've seen those 2-story buildings at Home Depot. I trust you, EV3D. I wasn't sure. I didn't say you were not telling the truth. That's not what I was saying. So, but yeah, I'll have to look and see. With all that clay, you could do an earthship or a cob. I could, but the problem with that is when you build it that way, before you put the doors and window in, you actually have to let it sit for about 6 months to settle before you put your doors and windows in. By the time I would get, we'll figure it out. I mean, it's I have a sawmill down the road. I can talk to my neighbor and see what kind of deal he can give me on lumber. I'm gonna have to build it as I go. You know, EV3 Dale says, I know you're going to build safely. Yeah, absolutely. 100%, my friend. 100%. Um, but no, this is not something that's going to be, okay, all the supplies are here tomorrow and we're going to get started. That's not how this is going to go. I have to do this as I can. When the property in New York sells, that's a different story. But let's be realistic. Let's say it doesn't sell. Well, then I got to do it slow and steady. I'm not going to put myself in huge debt to try to make this thing happen down here. So if I work at it a little bit at a time, get the base down, get the walls up, and get it dried in anyway as much as I can. I mean, that alone, you're talking about some serious money to do all that. So it's going to take time. And so some of you are not going to, you know, you're not going to like the way I do it, or it's going to be too slow for you. Um, it's going to be what it's going to be. There's a lot of other things that I need to take care of as well down here. So it's not just building a house. Worst case scenario, if I had to, I would screen this in underneath here under the camper. I would build like a wall in front over here because the wind comes down off that hill to block the wind. And I would actually fence in around 3/4 and leave the front here open if I had to try to reduce any kind of issues. I would do what I had to do. That's what I. No, I do not have the new battery hooked up yet. I've been doing other things the last 2 days. Actually, tomorrow, yeah, start buying lottery tickets. Yeah, right. No kidding. What I'm going to be doing tomorrow is I am going to I'm going to cut some more grass tomorrow, but I was looking underneath today, but I'm going to put support underneath there tomorrow. Get that battery. I'm gonna try to get that battery hooked up because I gotta take the one thing off. I'll show you when I do it, but you know, but I also want to get that trailer that I have down here, and I'm going to get that up into the upper meadow. So that I want to have ready. So when I do head back to New York, if depending on what the weather's doing down here, because I don't know what it's going to be doing when I get to that point. Um, Ed, are you still going to build a root cellar? Yes, Terrence, I am going to do that. Yep. That's like I said, I have a lot of things that I need to do. So how are you enjoy being out of gun Nazi New York? I love it. I'll be honest with you. I absolutely love it. I don't miss New York. That's a fact. I don't. Not at all. I don't miss it at all. So, but no, it's beautiful down here. Everybody's been really, really different or decent, I should say, really decent. And what you guys got to understand too, okay? So the property down here, I've realistically got a lot of stuff done already. A lot of stuff done already. I'm probably, if I had to guess and say I'm ahead of schedule, honestly. But you know, what I did in New York took 7 years. So even if I built, let's say I built something smaller right away, so I could have a shelter, if you will, for winter. If it gets to that point, and I need to have something temporary. So let's say I start working on the bigger, the 24 by 40. I start working on that, and winter's getting closer and closer and closer. What I'm going to need to do is I'm going to have to make a decision of what am I going to be able to get things done in there, or do I build something smaller, temporary that I can go in and me and Hella and whoever else is down here at that point, what we can survive it. Now that's if the property in New York doesn't sell. If the property in New York sells, we'll all be down here. But we have this camper and the other little building as well. So, there is, I got a window of time. That's the reality. And it's going to just take time. And I realize it's going to take time, but I'll get it done, you know, and, you're never going to be homeless. Exactly. Exactly. So worst case scenario, right? Worst case scenario, I have to go back to New York next winter and stay in New York for the winter. I have no intention of doing that. I will tell you right now. I plan on being here. So, have you had many showings on the New York home? Here's the funny thing about that, Irene, which is that's a great question. Um, my real estate guy has not done one showing, so I don't know what he's up to. Hey, Johnny Utah, you left New York to avoid your fair share of taxes. For we are all in this together. Hypocrite and self. Thank you. Thank you very much. Just so you know, Johnny, I still own the property in New York. Not that I have to answer to you in any way, shape, or form. So I'm still paying those taxes in New York. But thank you so much. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate that. And thank you for your judgment. JJ, you didn't have to delete the message. That's okay. If he wants to be a jerkweed and give me $5 to do it, great. I don't care. Here's the thing is, guess what? Opinions are like buttholes. And I'm saying it the PC way. Everybody has one. Congratulations. So, yeah, it was uncalled for. Yeah, it's always going to be that way, you know? No, I don't think he was being sarcastic. I don't think he was being sarcastic. I think he was just being a jerk, which is fine. Guys, it's just it was that Cuomo. Did you know what the sad thing about that, guys? The sad thing about that is Cuomo actually has a chance. He has a chance to be reelected as governor of New York. How scary! Massive. I'll keep praying that your New York home sells soon. I hope it does too, to be honest with you. I really do. I hope it sells, and I hope it goes to somebody that's really happy to have on off-grid property. That would be great. You know what I mean? Because I definitely, once I sell that property, it'll give me an opportunity. It'll give me an opportunity to get things really rocking and rolling down here. Because if I got 100,000 bucks in my pocket or more to put into this prop, and that's where it's going. Just so you know, too, guys, that that's where it's going. It's going back into down here. So he is just miserable because he can't change the situation. Nikki's nook. Well, the thing is, realistically, Nikki, everybody can change their situation if they really want to. Yeah, no, my realtor should be holding open houses. He should be. Because he said, yeah, there's been no interest on it. Well, how hard are you pushing? So, I when I go back to New York, I'll go to the office and me and him are going to have a chat. So, but if Cuomo gets reelected, it'll just so New Yorkers like getting screwed over. Oh yeah, absolutely. The contract with the realtor is 6 months. Yep, 6 months. So what we put the house on the market in April, end of March. I think it was the end of March. So 2 months in already. Your listing needs better wording. Yeah, like I said, we'll have to had Fed raised rates, so it's going to be hard to sell now in this market. Yeah, no, I know it makes it more difficult. Yep. Brenda says, "Wow, houses here are only on for 3 months." Yeah, it's a 6 month lease for here. So yeah, I think once things are greened up, so I'll tell you this: when I go back to New York, what we're going to actually do is we're going to go to one of the local nurseries. We're going to get some plants and we're going to plant. So, oh, egg count time. JJ, thank you for keeping me on track. I am like more than 2 minutes off. So let me just look at this real quick. Okay. So I'll give you the egg count for yesterday first. Yesterday there was 10 eggs yesterday, and thick neck did lay yesterday. How many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? Only one, but the light bulb really has to change. Like that. And he says 10 eggs, and what did he say? And yes to thick neck. Okay. So I'll give you guys a minute to get your guesses in, and then I will tell you what the answer is. So if you had the same exact guess as Prepper Mama with 7 eggs and no thick neck today, then you are 100% right. So yeah, not as many eggs as yesterday, and thick neck laid yesterday, so she did not lay today. So sometimes she lays 2 days in a row. A lot of times it's every other day. She's an older bird, so it is what it is. But yeah, so that's the fun of that, right? But awesome sauce says I'm 50% right. That's too funny. Yeah, it's I love it. I miss the chickens. I miss the chickens. I miss my cats. I miss Pandora and Caesar, and I miss obviously Heather, Mom, and Becky as well. But I'm trying to look at the long haul. So, and here's the weird part. Yeah, people think I've had people ask me, "Don't you get lonely?" You don't. When you're busy and you have things to do, um, I'm okay with being alone. So, so in that order, angry homesteader. That's awesome. That is very, very funny. No, not necessarily in that order. I miss probably my daughter the most. I will be honest with you. Oh, Heather's JJ, would you throw up the link for Heather's Etsy store, please? Sherry was asking about that. So I'll pump my daughter for a second. Heather has her Etsy store. She's making cat hats. She's making regular hats that she's knitting. She also does jewelry as well. So if you would support her in any way, that would be great and very much appreciated. And she just told me she was down dropping some stuff in the mail. Monday. So JJ just threw her link up for Heather's website for her Etsy account. So definitely go and show her some support. All right, really quickly, guys, let's do this. I want to talk about Deloma Health again here. This is the immune system defense, okay? Vitamin C, echinacea, turmeric, vitamin D3, elderberry, ginger, and garlic. All right. This will help boost your immune system. American made company. They're based out of Dallas, or not Dallas, but Texas. I don't know exactly where in Texas, but they're in Texas. All their products come from the United States, so nothing has been shipped in from overseas. So definitely support them. JJ just threw the link up for them as well. If you use my link, that's also going to be in the description below. You can save 10% on your purchase by using my link. Okay, and good company. They you can also save another 10% if you decide to get on their monthly subscription plan, or not subscription, but get it monthly. All right, let me do this real quick. I'll show you once again the size. So that is the size of them. Somebody's saying no sound. I would go out and come back in. Is everybody having that problem? Sounds fine here. Yeah, I would go out and come back in and see if that helps with your sound. No sound probably on purpose. Yeah, right. So they're not horse pills. Come on now. Yeah, some of them are saying fine. Okay, well, all right. But anyway, that's a good company. It's an American made company, and I think we need to support American companies. So if you would support them, that would be great. And again, your immune system is something that's very, very important now, and also especially if SHTF happens, or when I should say SHTF happens. You're going to need to make sure that you do that. So all right, so that is that. But anyway, what do we have? 50, we have 491 in the chat. We're at 341 on the thumbs up. So if you guys have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please do so to show support for the channel, and I appreciate that. Do you have did your building have plumbing and septic? No, that we will have to do ourselves. I'm going to be putting one, like I said, again, once the property in New York sells, I will be putting septic in down here. That's going to be one of the first things that I do. And my bulldozer guy, Matt, is that for me as well. I already talked to him about that, and he can put the septic system in for me. So that is definitely going to be something that's going to happen. Have you thought about the idea of doing a pole barn? Give it a thought to do poles and have a roof first uh, in peace, everything else as you go. So the problem is, again, I don't have the money right now to put something out all at once like that. The building that I was going to have was going to be a monthly payment. Okay. So I will look into the Home Depot thing. I will tell you that. I definitely will look into that. Because if I can do payments on something like that, then I would absolutely be interested, especially with it being 2 stories. Would be very cool. But we'll have to see. You know, we'll have to see. No, Cindy, I'm not getting the building delivered. The road is too narrow. They had a hard enough time getting the 10 by 16 in. We just got the 10 by 16 in. So uh, I would rather have something wider than 12 feet anyway. So, you know, that's kind of, so if we decide to build ourselves, then great. But, yeah, the concrete alone is a fortune. Yeah. And like I said, if you guys watch, I mean, I'm sure some of you do. I talked about him enough. Kyle's Cabin. Him and his girlfriend, they built their own. Well, as him and his father built it, she was there and she was helping. They built their own home, and they build it. They put down, you know, like footers built off of that. I don't even know if they buried anything. I think they had it floating, but you know, it's that's the way, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it something like that, the way that they built it out there. So I have, I need another 4 months to get all our wood for next winter. It takes time. It absolutely takes time. They say there's vitamin D in that. They should have their levels checked because D is fat soluble. Don't forget. Well, the thing is, it's if you live, and this is something, yeah, or bush radical, yeah, yeah. Him and his wife have built a bunch of tiny little homes and stuff like that. So, I mean, it is very doable, and it's not really that hard. It's just it takes the money to buy everything, But that's how I mean, I am not sitting on a pile of cash, so it's going to have to be done as it's done. And like I said, when the property in New York sells, then, I will own. And so, that's the way it's going to. I really don't have another choice at this point. Yeah, materials are doing nothing but going up. You're right, JJ. They're not. So I have faith in you, Ed. You go do it. And that's the thing. It's you have to be fluid. That's one of the things that I've learned with doing this and living have already. You got to go with the flow. There's going to be highs. There's going to be lows. When something happens, it is it is what it is. There's you can't if there's a roadblock happens, like with not being able to get this building in here. Yeah, that sets me back. I would have liked to have got that building in here, but you know, 24 by 24 concrete slab cost me 10 grand. Wow. Yeah. And like I said, that's a lot of money. Like I said, nothing is cheap, you know, but, Nikki's Nook said, I'm just excited for your progress and being able to watch the journey. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And like I said, the best thing is realistically, it will come together. It'll come together. And that's the reality. What state I'm in West Virginia, Sherry. I'm down in West Virginia. I have my property in New York, but I'm also I bought land here in West Virginia, and that's going to be where we're doing what we're doing here and getting things going there. So, you've seen some of my work, definitely not cheap. Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, it will come together as it's meant to be. Exactly. And, like I said, you got to be able to go with the flow. You can't be so rigid and so pent up that, oh my God, this is the worst thing that ever happened. No, I'm a big believer, folks, and I've always been this way. I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, everything happens when it should, and you just got to go with the flow. And as you do that, everything does come together. It really does. So, you know, it's just going to take time, and we're going to get there. We need a new driveway, and I'm not paying 13 grand. Uh, Teresa, 13 grand realistically would put a nice dent in what I need to do with my driveway, or I should say, road in. But it would, that's it. Like I said again, it is what it is. It will come together. Of that, I have no doubt. Is just going to take time, and and I'm okay with that. I really am. I'm here. I'm working on things, and everything that I do is another step. As long as I'm making again, making that forward progress, then that's great. So yeah, realistically, it almost would be cheaper if I did concrete, build a concrete house. I mean, realistically, that would be cheaper. Oh, but like I said, whatever it's going to be, um, we're going to be okay. So, what about shipping containers? That you have, there's a lot of work to do with shipping containers. Um, you know, there's a lot of work to do with shipping containers. And again, when you're looking at a 20-foot long shipping, the one that I bought, it cost $4,200. And so, I don't. Do I? Okay, I'll put it like this. Do I have room on credit cards that I could do it? Yes, I could. But why? Hey, Annabor, thank you so much towards the homestead. I really appreciate that. Very, very kind of you. Thank you so much. And that's where it will go. It will definitely go there. So thank you very much. I do really, really appreciate that. So, again, guys, like I said, it'll come together. It always does. It always does. It may not be as fast as I want it to, but it will come together. And like I said, I'm still very excited. I'll be honest with you. I love being down here. This is where I want to be. This is my home now. That's the way I'm looking at it. This is my home. Um, you know, and when the time comes, when the property in New York sells, which it will at some point, it may take a while. Okay, so it takes a while. We'll do what we can in the meantime, and we'll go from there. So, but and it's like I said, when I talk about before, we're gonna do shout outs here in just a second. When I've talked about before, controlling what you can control. Some things are out of your control. It's out of my control that the road is not big enough for them to get a 12-foot wide building down here, right? But so and that's okay. So that's not going to work. So now we got to go with Plan B, and that's okay too, because realistically, if I build a 24 by 40, that would be great because I literally would take a 4-foot section, all 40 foot down one wall, and turn that into a pantry where you come in one end and it's a big old long 40-foot pantry. Put shelves on both sides. How much preps could I get in there, right? That would be great. So, and it would still be leave me 20 foot to do other stuff. So, it's just, yeah, roll with the punches. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. I'd apply for homestead rescue, act sad and desperate. No, no, that ain't me. That is not me. You know, I think they do great things. I'll be honest with you. I don't need that kind of help. So, so anyway, so let's go ahead and do some shout outs, guys. So we're gonna start out with Icky Can up in Canada, a really really good guy. We got Angry Homesteader also has her channel there. Go and show some support there. 80K Man. We also have Sean James with the Sean James channel and My Self Reliance, two different channels. Really good information with him. Kyle's Cabin up in Minnesota. Him and Sierra, nice young couple and good people. Mary Greeley News. You have Marfugal News. Adam and Dax out on the West Coast. Ryan Hall Y'all, Doug and Stacy. You have North Shore Preparedness also up in Canada. You have Boss of the Swamp. You have Pinball Preparedness. You have Green Greg's, Southern Prepper One. You have Magic Prepper. You have uh, Wrangle Star. There is also, I think I said Doug and Stacy already. Adapt 2030, Ice Age Farmer. There's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Suspicious Observer is another really good channel. A lot of cool information on there as well. Also, you have Nomadic Movement down in Panama. They're really good channel too. Simple Life Reclaimed, another young couple in the Ozarks, I believe is where they are. You have, let's see, going blank here. Gray Man Prepping. You have Angry Prepper down in New York City. You have Alaskan Prepper. You also have Alaskan Granny. There's another one really good. Joe with St. Bernard Acres. So, let's see. Full Spectrum Survival is another channel. Like I said, there's Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands in La Palma. You have the Green Dream Project out in Arizona. Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. There's a lot of really good channels out there, a lot of good information. East Tennessee Preparedness would be another one. So, there's different people have different perspectives on things, and I think that that's a good thing. And so we should be, like I said again, I believe we should be supporting each other. The Economic Ninja is another one. Yep. So, but so yeah, so that's there's I think that's going to do it for I think that's going to do it for shout outs for right now. Oh, Girl in the Woods, Bush. About them. Sorry, they're also in Minnesota. Great couple. Two separate channels, but a lot of really good information. Like I said, it's as far as building goes, Lumina Acres. Yep, that's another good channel. As far as building goes, it's just a matter of doing what I can do when I can do it, getting things going, and that's what we're gonna do. It may take longer than I want, but that's okay too. When we get it done, it'll be great. So that is it. So I do want to say, let's go, Brandon. Of course. Yeah, there we did the egg count already. Jurassic pork chop. It was 7 eggs and no thick neck egg today. Yesterday, um, oh, Appalachian Homestead with Petra. Yes, I didn't mention her. I apologize. Um, the yesterday was 10 eggs and thick neck laid yesterday. So L Welch said full spectrum news is too much fear porn for me. I like I said, and I've talked about this a little bit before, guys. I think the day after day after day of fear porn, I think is counterproductive. That's just my take on it. I don't think that that helps in any way. So that reminds me, like I said, of like Chicken Little with the sky is falling. So I think that I think that if we just work together and realize that we need to come together, that we need to work together, it's going to be more helpful in the long run. Again, control what you can control. What can you control? You can control your immediate situation, what you're doing for yourself and your family. If you're also prepping for others, friends or other family members, that's not a bad thing either. Because I'm telling you right now, they're going to come around, and then you're going to have to make a hard call. Do you help them or do you not help them? And so to me, I want to be in a situation where I'm able to help people that I care about. And so it's amazing how much you've already done on the property in West Virginia. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It's like I said, it's coming together. It's going to take time, and like I said, and again, after what I've done in New York, guys, and here's the cool thing too. Okay, so like with the gravel, I was going to put the gravel a certain way, so I start laying the gravel out, and then when the bulldozer guy came in, and I said, "Well, can you cut back this way?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I can cut a lot more back," and he did. He cut a lot more back, and he opened it up a lot more. So that made that work that I did that way mute. So my mistake. But again, that's the way the road was going to end up going. Well, now it's not. So now I, look at it and go, okay, how are we going to do it? There's always going to make mistakes. Is your New York property negotiable or is your price firm? Everything's negotiable. If somebody, I'll be honest. You want my honest answer? If somebody came in and offered me 150, I'll take 150. That's the honest answer. So it's amazing how well Hella has adapted to West Virginia. She's done really, really well. And like I said, she don't go far. She's so I did want to address. Okay, I wanted to address this because some people had said this. They said, "Oh my God, get her a red collar. Somebody's going to mistake her for a coyote and shoot her." Okay. Well, first of all, Hella is never out of my sight ever. Secondly, I am way back in the woods here. She would have to go a long, long distance to get to anybody to start with for somebody to see her. Number one, that's number two. And like I said, she stays close to me. I mean, if I don't see her, okay, um, if I don't see her, I whistle, that dog is right there. So, she's not one of those wanderers. She's not going to wander off. So, and again, no, there's not, who's going to be hunting on my property? I'm not letting anybody hunt on my property. I have 25 acres down there. I got a lot of land. So there's not going to be anybody. And the guy over here is putting in cows, and I think horses next door. So, I don't think he wants hunters out there either. What kind of dog was Heller barking at this morning? It's like a mutt. It's brown and white. I know whose dog it is. It's the neighbor's dog. You know, so it's the neighbor's dog. But the dog came up here and she said, "Oh, absolutely not. This is my territory." So that's yeah. There's hunting accidents with hunters. Yeah, you're 100% right. But if I'm not letting them on my property to hunt, that's not going to happen. And like I said, she is not out of my sight. So if we take a walk, she's with me. If I go someplace, she goes with me. So I left her here one day when I had some stuff that I had to do. So that's how that goes. Okay, so let's do this, folks. We are Legion. We are many. What is your web or PayPal account? My PayPal, it's under should be under my name, I would think. I think. Don't you go through other property to get to yours? Yes, there is I have an easement. It's right in for me when I bought the property. So yeah, just shoot me an email. That's yeah. If you and I'll give you a call. Okay, the one that was asking about my PayPal account. Just shoot me an email, give me your number, and I'll give you a call. But anyway, I have an easement, so I have that road in. I will always have permission to, no matter who owns or who buys or who doesn't buy the properties around there. I have the right of way to use that road. I have also the right of way to fix the road as I see fit to make the road better, which that benefits everybody that uses the road. So that's what we're going to end up doing. So, you know, but anyway, we are Legion. I'm sorry, I'm off track again. uh, we are many. We're all over the world. We're all over the country. Where's everybody from? So we got BC, Canada, Auburn, California, Ozark, Arkansas, West Tennessee, Central Missouri, Logan, West Virginia, Bloomberg, Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania Wilds, Melbourne, Australia, with Philip in the house, Connecticut, Raleigh, North Carolina once again, Texas, nowhere, Oklahoma, still my favorite name, Fort Riley, Kansas, North Highlands of California, Leesburg, Florida with Joan, Alabama, Roll Tide, absolutely, Sherry, Louisiana, we have Austin, Texas, Michigan, BC, Canada, Nitro, West Virginia, Michigan, Bellevue, Nebraska, uh, Adeline, Scotland. I hope I said that right, and I'm glad to have you here. Newfoundland, Ohio, Louisiana, Northern Ontario, Canada, Waterloo, New York, Chicago, Louisiana, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania, Central Iowa, Reno, Nevada, Vancouver, Washington, Colorado Springs, upstate New York, Fort Worth, Texas, White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, Southern Oregon, Northern Wisconsin, Christmas Valley, Oregon, Chicago, Northwest Florida, Allegiance, Ohio. We have San Diego, California in the house. Been down there a few times. Very nice. Edgewater, Florida. St. Augustine, Florida. Idaho. Witchy Wales. Very cool. Love that. I have Scottish in me. So, North Carolina, Johnston County. Camping on an island in Minnesota. Very nice. Nothing wrong with that. We have Tennessee is in the house. Somewhere in the Adirondacks. 80K man. We have Idaho, Western Iowa, San Diego once again, Southwest Pennsylvania, Mandeville, Louisiana, Phillips, West Virginia. So again, we have Belgium is in the house. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. We have Boulder, Colorado, West Central Georgia, Northwest Alabama. So, but yeah, so we are a huge network of people. We're a huge family. We're all over the country. We're all over the world. We really truly are. We are the ones that can make a difference now, and we're the ones that are going to make a huge difference when the time comes, when things go belly up. Um, oh, Vicky, okay, I will. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Um, but again, we're the ones that truly can make a difference. Our knowledge, our skill sets are going to really help a lot of people in that point in time. We can teach. Oh, no, we got North Queensland, Australia. Very nice, Deborah. Thank you for being here. Um, Again, we can make a difference. So we're all coming to Edwardsville. I got to name the property, and I don't know what I'm going to name it yet, but I will figure that out. I will definitely figure that out. But we do have the name of the road. It's going to be PN One Way. My sister bought me that name sign, and I'm going to get that up at some point as well. So Rocky Top, yeah, right. A lot of rock up here, that's for sure. Um, but yeah, we'll figure all that out as we move along. But yeah, it'll come together. It will definitely come together. So all walks homestead, yeah, that's a cool. I like that. That's not bad. Oh, hell is run. Yeah, that would people probably wouldn't understand that though. So Prepper's Mountain, that wouldn't be bad. Preppersville, something like that too, right? So we'll see. I'll have to give that one some thought. And I can't believe it. Well, I can because she's had a busy day. She has slept through the entire live stream. The entire live stream she has slept. So that's a really, really good thing. Because normally by now she's up my behind. So I'm very happy. Well, listen, guys, I want to thank my moderators again, who always do just an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. I really do appreciate you. It does mean a lot, but you know, it is it's an honor being able to be on here and sharing our journey with you guys. I do appreciate all of you again, also for being here. It does mean a lot to me. It's a lot of fun. I do enjoy these talks, even on days like tonight. I'm tired tonight. I'm not gonna lie. I am tired. The last 2 days I have put in a lot of physical labor. But I will tell you, I feel really, really good. Other than tired, I feel really, really good. I definitely am dropping weight, which is even better. Like I said, I have a game plan, you know. So thick neck homestead, that's funny. I like that. That's funny. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So anyway, guys, what are we at? 438. Let's go for 475. Let's see if we, I know it's like we're right at the very end of this. So let's see if we can hit 475. It gives a little bit of a challenge. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I would ask you to please shoot a thumbs up, to show support for the channel. And I thank you for that ahead of time. Also, it really does help with the algorithms. So that makes a difference as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. So anyway, remember, folks, we really truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we really do have to stop letting them manipulate us and play games against us. That it's counterproductive. It doesn't help. The whole race thing, the whole religion thing, those are tools. That's all they are. They're tools to keep us fighting against each other, and that's it. That's all that they're for. Also, they use, political affiliation is one of the tools, and also the vaxxed and the unvaxxed. So those are all tools that are used to keep us fighting amongst each other and not letting us take care of the things that we need to take care of. So think about that, okay? Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important that people that we care about every day how we feel. So what are we at? 466. So we need nine more to get to 475. So let's do that. Nine more, guys. Let's get those thumbs up in there, please. So also remember, guys, STD, very, very important. Step, thing, and day. And I have to remind myself of that as well a lot, to be honest with you. I have to say, okay, just make progress, move forward, get something done. And as long as you keep doing that, you are going to be just fine. You're going to be just fine. Just keep working at it, uh, work at it methodically, and you're going to be fine. So, don't listen to negative people telling you what you can't accomplish. You can accomplish anything that you want to, and the only one that's going to stop you from or hold you back is you. So, but definitely do that. Thank you for doing what you're doing. I appreciate you saying that. I do. I've enjoyed sharing this journey. It's been like I said, it's been a lot of work. What we did in New York was a lot of work over a long time. This is not going to develop overnight, and I know that. But we'll get what we can get done, and we'll go from there. So anyway, guys, we easily went through 475, so I do appreciate that. We're at 478 right now. So STD acres, oh my God, people would have no idea. They would have no idea. So, but anyway, guys, I will see you all later. Have a great night. Appreciate the support, and I will see you later. Have a great night. Prepper Nurse One out for now.